Hello, my cheese-loving friends, and welcome to another cheese-making episode. Today we're making a simple cheese. It's mozzarella cheese, and it's often considered a beginner's cheese because the ingredients are pretty easy to source. This recipe doesn't take very long, and the equipment used is probably already in your kitchen. Now here's the interesting thing. Surprisingly, this easy cheese can have a high failure rate. In fact, I know something about failing with this cheese. The very first time I marched myself into a superstore, picked up a gallon of milk, and made the perfect mozzarella cheese, and the next 3 times I tried to do it, I failed. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to help you through some troubleshooting so that you can make your very best cheese. So come into my kitchen and let me show you how to make mozzarella cheese. Here's the equipment you'll need to make this recipe. You'll need a stainless steel pot large enough to hold a gallon of milk. You'll need 2 glass containers to measure the ingredients. Perhaps the most important piece is a quality thermometer, something you can rely on. You'll need something to cut the curds. I'm going to use a curd knife, but if you don't have one, that's okay. Just make sure that the knife you use is long enough to reach the bottom of the pot. You'll need a stainless steel spoon for stirring, and something to collect the curds, and a place to hold the curds while we're heating the whey. All right, make sure that you sanitize all of this equipment before you begin. Let's prepare the ingredients we'll need for the recipe. We'll need to dissolve citric acid in non-chlorinated water. So we'll take 1 cup of non-chlorinated water, and to that we'll add 1.5 teaspoons of citric acid. Stir thoroughly. And while we're at it, we can prepare the rennet as well. Take a 1/4 cup of non-chlorinated water and add 1/2 teaspoon of rennet. And stir well. You can find citric acid in your canning area in your local grocery store, but rennet is a little harder to find locally. I get my ingredients online. I'll put a link in the description box so you can take a look at it. Let's pour the milk. Step 1 is to acidify the milk. Take the citric acid and pour it into the pot. Then pour your milk quickly into the citric acid. The milk should be cold from the refrigerator. Stir well. Now turn on the heat and slowly heat it to 90 degrees. Oh, I see ears. Meet YumYum. She's the real star of the channel. As soon as I pour milk, she's in the kitchen. Once you've reached the target temp of 90 degrees, it's time to stir in the rennet. Pour in the rennet slowly. Remove the thermometer. Stir the rennet for no longer than 30 seconds. Turn off the heat. Cover the pot and let the milk begin to coagulate. We're going to let it rest for 5 minutes. All right, it's been 5 minutes. And let's see if we have a curd. You'll just take your knife and insert it into the center. And yes, we do. That looks awesome. All right, let's cut the curd. We're going to cut it in 1-inch cubes in a crisscross pattern. The next step is to cook the curd. Slowly, over a few minutes, take the temperature from 90 degrees to 110 Fahrenheit. While this is happening, you'll want to gently stir the curds. When you're stirring at this stage, take the curds from the outside into the center, nice and slow. Once the curds have reached 110, go ahead and turn off the heat and cover the curds with a lid for 5 minutes. They'll continue to cook in the 110 degrees. See you in 5 minutes. And now it's time to remove the curds. Here we go. Oh wow, look at that. As you're removing the curds from the whey, go ahead and let them drain a little bit. We want most of the whey out when we're beginning to stretch. I'm going to take the curds and with my very clean hands, we're going to go ahead and continue to drain the whey. We just want curds. Heat the reserved whey to between 175 degrees and 190 degrees. And now, the next part is the moment of truth. Will they stretch? Fingers crossed. Okay, cheese-loving friends, the next step involves plunging your hands into, are you ready? 175 Fahrenheit to 190 degree Fahrenheit hot whey. And I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like a lot of fun to me. So I have a couple of options for you if you're not interested in just plunging your hands right in. I know I'm not. So you can go with these types of gloves. These are insulated barbecue gloves. And the pro to this is you're not going to feel the heat at all. The negative to this is they are a little more cumbersome, but I still think they can do the job. Your second option is to use nitrile gloves. Now, these are thinner, so you are going to feel some of the heat through it, but they give you more dexterity. So the choice is up to you, whichever you prefer. I'll put links in the description box below so you can take a closer look. Transfer the hot whey to your working station. All right, here's the moment of truth. With a ladle, take some of your curd and go ahead and plunge it into the hot whey. And then let it sit there for a few seconds. I know my hands are clean, but just want to make double sure. Now you're going to take a 1/4 cup of non-iodized salt and sprinkle it into the whey. This is going to give the cheese a nice flavor. Just stir it in. Okay. I'm going to use these because I like the dexterity. Try this first. Warning. Any attempt to put on nitrile gloves while your hands are wet will result in fits of laughter. Really? All right. We're good to go. Ready? So you're going to take a nice amount of the curd. I'm going to take it and use it in a ladle and just plunge it into the hot whey. And let it sit there for a few moments. And you can do this with all of the curds. I'm going to do this with one small piece first, just to make sure I'm going to get a good stretch. Yep. So I'm kneading the curds right here in the ladle. You don't want to overdo it. Just enough where you think you're going to get a stretch. You can kind of see it start to happen. Yep. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can get this to stretch. Oh yeah, check it. That's awesome. Just do 3 nice and easy stretches. 1, 2, 3. Looks great. And shape it into the size you want. If you feel like it's slowing down on the stretch, you can just heat it up a little bit. That's a little warm, but not too bad. Okay. Now, I plan to eat this almost right away, and I like to eat it warm. So I'm going to place this in room temperature whey. And you can keep this here in room temperature whey for about an hour. All right, now the rest, I'm just going to reach right in and we're going to do the whole thing. Plunge it into the hot whey and let it sit for a few moments. It's hot. You want some? I'm not sure if you can see her. The cat is right by my feet. No wonder. I'm sure she smells the whey. Okay, here we go. Whew. Hot. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Here we go. Nice. Okay, so we're gonna knead it. Just like that. Yep, that's looking good. just waiting for that shiny appearance to show up. It's not quite there, but I'm close. Back into the whey. Just another few seconds. Oh yeah, I think this is going to be it. Here we go. Yep, ready? One stretch. Nice. Two stretch. Three stretch. That should do it. Now form it into the shape you want. And this time, I plan to store it in the refrigerator for a day because I want to grate it and freeze it for later for pizza. So, I plan to plunge it into a cold water bath. I'm going to get it nice and smooth looking. Nice. Good. Awesome. Okay, I have an ice water bath here, and in it goes. I'm just fishing out the last little bits because I want to taste it right away. That is so good. It is milky, creamy, just the right amount of salt. Yeah, this is delicious. You want some?
Well, that's really good.
I thought you'd like that. Success. All right, let's do some troubleshooting. Tip number 1, use the best milk possible. I like to use pasteurized, unhomogenized milk, and I can support a local farmer by doing that, and I find it's the best milk to make any cheese. There's a cheese making saying, better milk makes better cheese, and that really is true. But you can also make fantastic cheese with regular store-bought grocery milk. In fact, my first one was a regular purchased milk at the local grocery, and it turned out just fantastically. But if you're having some difficulty producing a cheese with regular store-bought milk, that leads us to tip number 2. Switch your brand. Because you see, not all store-bought milk is created equally. Some of it really borders on ultra-pasteurized, and ultra-pasteurized just really isn't good for cheese making. So if you fail with one milk, switch out your brands, keep notes, and try again. And then once you find that brand that works for you, stick with it. Tip number 3, recognize that this recipe can fail in 2 places, at the curd setting stage and at the stretching stage. So to help to set a better curd, make sure that the citric acid is very well mixed into the milk. And I do that by pouring the citric acid in first and then quickly pouring the milk over top of it so that it can be mixed in thoroughly. And also make sure that your milk is very cold from the refrigerator. Definitely do not use calcium chloride with this recipe because it relies on the citric acid to plunge that pH down very quickly, and so using calcium chloride to set a better curd won't work in this case. Plus, even if you do get a better curd, you won't get a better stretch. Now at the stretching phase, the best way to get a good stretch is just to stretch it gently 2 or 3 times. And if you're having trouble getting a stretch at all, plunge it back into the water or the whey and adjust your temperature accordingly. I'm finding that that sweet spot for a good stretch is anywhere between 175 and 190 degrees. But if it's not stretching, just heat the curds back up and try again. Be sure to stretch just a few times because stretching too much will result in a rubbery type of cheese, and that's not what you want either. Speaking of your expectations with this cheese, this is a quick mozzarella, and it's designed to be eaten quickly. It's designed to be soft and creamy, silky. It is not your traditional type of shredded cheese that you pick up at the grocery store. That's more along the lines of the traditional method that uses culture instead of citric acid. Store your cheese properly. Make sure that your cheese is stored in a glass container and that it's consumed within a couple of days or frozen for later use. Otherwise, the cheese could get a little slimy. Ugh. Thanks so much for watching. I'm glad you enjoyed this video. Browse around the channel and see what other favorite cheese making recipes you can find. And if you enjoyed this one, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And we will see you in the next episode.